Can astrology and the movement of planets help us work out our challenges? Is astrology best used for predictive information, or is it more effective for helping in understanding and planning out strategies?
Welcome to the Angelscapes podcast, where you're encouraged to uncover and develop a direct connection with your soul's power, wisdom, and spiritual intuition that is ready to blossom. We'll explore new ideas, compelling tips, and real steps to help you learn simple spiritual practices. We're a safe place to learn more about accessing your soul's power with education and spiritual wholeness that could bring more clarity to your life. Now here's your host, a practicing medium, Akashic Records practitioner, spirit artist, coach, and mentor, Dr. Reverend Nancy Smith.
Hello and welcome to Angelscapes, and I'm your host, Nancy Smith, your guide to living a soul-powered life. And join me for an astrological forecast with Mary Dalba. She's back. Changes in the air and innovations are popping up all over the world. Conflict continues on the political front, and big weather challenges loom. What are the planets telling us, Mary?
Oh, so much going on, Nance. It's so nice to be back. Hello to everyone. It's great to be here with you, Nance. So nice to see you. Lots is going on. We just had a little example of Mercury retrograde right there because starting on, I'm diving right in. Starting
Yes,
on the 18th,
good.
right in. We have a Mercury retrograde in Leo, so we're already seeing it. We're already seeing people kind of flare up a little bit at each other.
Yeah.
Things that we have to go over, old ground. It's and always I say during Mercury retrograde, watch out for your ex showing up again. Sometimes they want to talk to you about something. You cannot do that. You don't have to. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a sign from the universe. Could also be Mercury retrograde. So we have that going on through August 11th. So what I would say to everybody right now is really important. I don't want to say bite your tongue necessarily, because if you need to say something, you can and you should. But I think also thinking about how it comes out of your mouth is what's important, because as Leos, lions, they're gonna
All
roar.
those
So
Leos. I say count to
mm,
10. My
yeah.
ex was a Leo, and I said, count to 10, dude. I see it all over your face.
It's true. It's true. It's sometimes those 10-second pauses really get us out of a lot of sticky situations where there has to be apologies and things like that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's with everything going on right now, and I know we're feeling it. Everybody I talk to right now is saying that life is just life, and life is doing its thing. We're all getting hit in different places. And some of it is the culture of what's happening in the world, the politics, just everything. And I don't care what side you're on, I don't care what your beliefs are, but I think everybody's feeling this pressure of the world and the sadness that comes with it. We have weather. I think, Texas, our
Yeah.
folks in
Oh
Texas.
my gosh.
There's other things. We're still dealing with um people who are dealing with mental health issues, and they're sort of coming out in all different kinds of places. Um, and also just the shakeup of communications and what people are thinking and doing. So we're really getting that astrologically more than anything. So add a layer of Mercury retrograde in there for about a month. There's going to be things that pop out that are secrets. So, I mentioned exes, right?
Yeah.
But also things that you could have maybe tried to like ignore, or something that's a secret that really needs to come out. Those are things that might pop up. So, from a global perspective, do not be surprised if we see things about some of our leaders, because Leos are the leaders.
Leos are the leaders, and also Leo has a specific personality kind of thing going on too. So
Hmm.
if it's in Mercury is in retrograde, I was curious to know how's that going to play out with a Leo. I think
Yeah.
besides saying the wrong thing or blurting it out, but it's all about me. Leo is.
Well, yes. So let me give you an example of that. This is a wonderful example of this. So our president is a Gemini sun. He's born June 14th. But he has a Leo rising sign. So what that means is that's the mask you show to the world. He does, I mean, just even his hair, it's very like Leo, very Leo-like. He's very Leo-like in his personality. Well, with Mercury sitting on top of that, his ascendant, he might really flub up in what he's saying. You might see him get really, how dare you? We saw that, some of the
Yeah,
questioning
yeah,
that was happening
yeah,
over the past
yeah,
week or so.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're going to see those flare ups come up again. And I would
Mhm.
not be surprised if our friend Elon happens to pop up with something over this time. So there might be some fighting between our president and uh, Mr. Musk. So,
Yeah,
but that's the
yeah,
thing. So if you here's some actually I am trying to do this myself, so I'll pass this along to all of you. The news is good to take in doses. But news
yeah,
comes in all different kinds of forms. You see it on you have it on your TV, you have it on the internet, but also as you scroll, I'm grateful because we're all connected here through Facebook. But as you
yeah,
scroll, there's news bits that come up. I want to share this. This is important to me. And so what you're ingesting, maybe what's making you feel a little Mets, as my dad used to say,
yeah,
Mets and Mets, right? So really right now, if you think about how you can fine tune your communications or your connections to people in communications, because Mercury is a lot about that. It's what you're ingesting in your communications, what you're receiving, what you're being told. So
right,
also not just from a global level, but an individual level. If people are talking to you in your day-to-day life and you're like, that doesn't really feel like me, what you're saying, or like what you're saying to me doesn't resonate with me anymore. Those are things that are going to come up too. So it's, the world affects us,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
also how it affects us as individuals. So the other thing that might happen is that if you're really into some kind of cause or something that you want to see differently in the world, you may take a step forward in that and
yeah,
become a leader, whether it's an advocate just in your own space. So um, lots of, I try to dive deep with astrology and what Mercury is about. And so these are revolutionary times, guys. And I think
yeah.
it's going to go in and see how you can lead even if it's
Okay.
unofficial, right? Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, there's things we haven't seen ever. Yeah, and
No.
if you,
No.
you, I just read this today, scrolled through.
Mhm.
It's the email said
Yeah.
you are the light that you're looking for, or
Oh.
you are the miracle you're looking for, or you are the leader you are looking for. I've seen it
Mhm.
said many different ways. So maybe that's what Mercury and Leo could mean. You are the one you're looking for,
Right.
you know?
Right. Well, you need to be, so Leos like to be the star of the show. They really do. And so like this is the star of your own show. It's really taking off like your inhibitions a bit. Because lions don't care. If you ever watch lions, like again, this is part of what I love about social media is you can see, animals all over the world, dogs, lions, whatever. But if you ever watch lions on some of the videos, they don't care. They walk down the highway, they lie on it, they like stop traffic, they do whatever they want to do, and they don't care how people perceive them. And so there's a little bit of that I think can be seized, seizing the moment right now is being the leader, in your space and to other people. I don't think we realize how much people look up to us, as individuals and what our talents are. So this is Leo's encouraging you, like, just be you and just show those talents and
I
really
like that.
shine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really
So,
like
but
that.
it has to start within. So you have to, make that phone call to the person that you've been trying to get in to do work with, or, ask somebody like, hey, do you want to collaborate on this? I've been thinking about it for a while. So those old projects, those old ideas, they'll pull right into this space for you to take
Yeah,
advantage of them. So do the best you can with that, guys. I think and no one has to be perfect. That's the thing, especially with
no.
Mercury retrograde. Like you saw, Nancy, you did a brilliant job of recovering, the intro, but that's to
Oh,
be expected right now. You're like, all right, like this intern, I'm gonna take care of this and feel good about it. And here we are, so I think it can do a lot of good stuff for us, but again, always check your travel plans, always check your car, your mechanics, if you order something, make sure you give it enough time. Don't be like me that has to go to a party on Saturday and I'm ordering it Thursday night at like 10 o'clock. Don't do that to
yeah,
yourself, because things can get lost in the mail. Like
they can.
really try to think ahead because last minute stuff could turn real problematic. Oof.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I'm traveling
Oh,
the first week of August, and I'm like,
mm,
well, I have two trips in August, so I'm like, you're saying how
fabulous.
long is it gonna be metric? Oh my God, so I'll be all right.
Well,
Yeah,
it's long. So here's the thing, we got to live, right? You're going to go on these beautiful trips.
absolutely.
So It's getting to the airport a little bit early than you might usually. It might be double checking your flight time. Because especially now with the airlines, they're moving times. I found like one of my
Oh,
flights, I was moved completely. I missed the email. I
really?
won't say they didn't inform me, but things like that. Like you just want to double check like the rental car that you have. Is it still like, rented? Like, or did they send something to you saying maybe we have to switch it? See what I mean? So it's all those little details, just double check them.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Confirm, confirm, confirm.
Confirm and leave time.
Yeah.
So if you usually get to the airport, 2 hours before, maybe 2.5 this time. Can't hurt. Yeah. Yeah. Or
Read a book.
I
Just
mean,
read a book.
listen, well, well, I don't know. Some of us, some of us like to get there 2 hours before because we've had problems going through security in the past.
Yeah, yeah.
So right. So I try to get there. I would get there even earlier and I would just sit with my laptop and read or my book. So yeah, that's the stuff like you just want to make sure you give yourself enough breathing room right now. Because Mercury makes us slow down. Even though it's in Leo, it still makes us slow down. So um just like I said, double check things, make sure you
Perfect.
have everything, make lists, things like that you might not usually do. Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great, great,
Yeah.
great. We have a
Yeah.
few other
So
things happening here too, don't we?
we do, we do. So I was going to say, so one of the things that just happened, I'm looking at my notes. I wanted to make sure I had notes and not remember it in this noggin all the time. But we've had, the one I wanted to mention first was Uranus, um, which is the planet of invention and rebellion and unexpected things. It could be explosive. It's
Yeah.
electrical things, also technology. That planet moved into the sign of Gemini. Now it hasn't done that for 84 years. So, if we think back to technology back 84 years ago, there was a lot of things that were happening that were changing technology and the way that we did things. But especially now, what we might be seeing is a rise in AI, which I'm
We
not
are.
sure how everybody feels about that, but I think it's here to stay. Um, and with Gemini is the social butterfly. Gemini is the detail person. Gemini likes to connect people and connect things and to kind of network a bit. So when you have it in
Mhm.
Uranus, it's saying we need to figure out the plans to
Right.
I want to say break the foundations of the way things are. So things are going to get shaken up. Um, Technology, definitely. Like I said, AI. These are the times, guys, I will tell you, especially with it being in Gemini likes short workshops. They're not necessarily the ruler of like 4-year college degrees. They like shorter, like certificate programs, or like,
Okay.
I know, Nancy, you said you're going to be teaching some classes in the fall. Things like that falls under Gemini.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the fall or you start, I don't know if you
Yeah,
start in the
starting in
summer, but
September.
anyway,
It's in classes coming up.
September.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, so now you have these new classes, right? So here's the innovation in Gemini, which is the teaching, right? So you're bringing that forward because you want people to get this new information that you've channeled and you've worked with. That's what we're going to be seeing out there. So it's, um, it's really making you stop and think about what do I need to shake up in my
Yeah.
life?
Yeah.
And how do I need to communicate that or make that part of my social construct, over
Right.
my friends and all that kind of stuff. So I would not be nervous about technology and things getting shaken up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I would be nervous if you weren't having these feelings of uncertainty, or like you need to do something. It's that like itchy feeling I call it. It's like I know I got to do something, but I don't know
I don't
what
know what
exactly it is right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's like that's what you should be feeling right now. If you're not, I'd say, you know, um, but it's innovation, and it's going to be quick innovation.
I wanted
Um,
to say something with this.
yeah,
Last year, I mean, earlier this year, I forget which, I think it was January sometime. I did the
yeah,
year in the Akashic Records for in general. So
right.
I think, and then we
Yeah.
did something after that. But India came up kind of like this time of year into the end, something innovative coming from India. And so
Hmm.
I did some research to say, okay, here we are in July. What's
Oh.
going on? What are the innovations in July? And India is, well, this France is making progress on this bladeless wind turbine. And then
Yeah.
Finland is coming up really close to a hydrogen car and really getting
Hmm.
things set up that would support a hydrogen car. So then India is
Yeah.
like going ballistic with scientific breakthroughs and technology advances. They're calling them dark tech, which they're really going into what's the edge of tech, and they're pouring all kinds of
Ooh.
money into it. And then
Mhm.
and they're also pouring all kinds of money into, they call it fintech, financial tech, where they're working on advancements using AI for how to do money and how to exchange money. And it's so
Wow.
anyway, I was kind of excited to see. I think we got to watch India for good ideas. But
Mm. Yeah.
so
And it's global. So you
global,
hit on it perfectly, Nancy. It's global because Uranus rules like groups and the universe and friend
yeah,
like that collective. So that's why we're seeing all these different countries pop out with these different technology innovations. And I really think, I'm sure I'm preaching the choir out there, but I really think we need to embrace it because the more that we can work with each other, right, the more that we can excel. And
right.
so hopefully, fingers crossed that we work together on that. But
Yes, we have to work
yeah,
too. Yeah,
we have to.
we have a little bit of a problem happening with the I mean, to me, I don't know where this all fits in with Uranus and Gemini, but we also have we're losing in the educational system in this
Oh, I know.
country. We're losing
Yeah.
ground. So
It hurts my heart so much.
yeah,
Yeah. So here's
but what do we do? I mean, there's a lot people can do about that.
right. Well, so in I think your instincts are totally right. So with the government, what happens is the government I look more as like Saturn. Like Saturn, it's the old structure, it's the old foundations. This is how we've always done it. This is how we're always going to do it. And Uranus
That's
comes in
right.
and says, "Oh, I don't like that. I like the foundation you built, but we're going to do something different." So, my fingers crossed, hope in my heart that because I heard they're going to start dismantling the Department of Education, which kills
Right.
me.
Yeah.
But what I'm hoping is out of that rises a new innovation in how we educate and how we, really listen to other countries again on
Exactly.
how they're working their education and how we can
Right.
incorporate things like that. So my hope is that as that foundation breaks down, there's a new foundation that comes on top of it that's even better. Prayers and fingers crossed and
Yeah.
all the rituals and
Yeah.
done to all the angels and
I
saints, but
know.
that's what I mean. But that's I think what's going to happen is we're how can I say this? I think people, of course we should be worried. Education is so important in this country and around the world for people. And the fact that we have an education where you can take what you want and learn what you want here, that freedom is huge.
It's huge.
Um
It's
it's
huge.
huge.
Yeah.
So now though, I think what people may think is if they dumb us down, we're not really paying attention. But I think what it's going to do, it's going to bring innovation to say,
I think so.
this country has this kind of school day and this country has this kind of work as they do as they advanced degrees and education stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think those who might think this is the way to bring us down, they're going to find out it's even actually going to work and better in our favor.
I'm really hoping that too. I feel like Saturn can be very stubborn, and we can. Well, this is how it's always done. We can make little changes around the edges, but we can't make core changes. So I'm
Right.
with you on that because as some of these systems are broken down on purpose,
Hmm.
what are we going to have left when we need to rebuild? And I feel like we
Yeah.
have the doors opening for really building what is really
Yeah.
needed. So the teens
Yeah.
coming in now, they think
Oh.
differently, they're talking
Mm.
differently, they're in the middle of technology since they're like learning,
Hmm.
since one. And
Hmm.
so they don't take the world in the way earlier generations did. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Although it seems like a nightmare.
Well, that's the thing. It's really great to bring up because these are global things that we all worry about.
Yeah.
But and I know, like I said, that made me shiver a little bit when I saw the Department of Education getting dismantled federally. But still, I think it's going to turn around and we're going to see people saying, well, we need to do different things. Homeschooling may become bigger or, like community kind of learnings, things like that. I think we're going to see much more of it. And Nancy, you didn't even like, I'm going to go on to Saturn and Aries and why that
Go for
fits
it.
in with
Yeah.
this. So like you were
Yeah.
like in Saturn and I'm like, here we go. We didn't even plan that, guys. It's really, we didn't. So we have Uranus and Gemini that wants to have like social time with people. Like I said, protests, group meetings, things like that, all kinds of innovations. Well, Saturn usually doesn't like that, right? Saturn's like, I like the way I've built it. like father time. Like, we're going to keep it this way.
Father
However,
time. Yeah.
Saturn moved into the sign of Aries.
I see that. So what is that?
Right.
What are we doing with
Right.
that?
So the foundations, even there's gonna be, so there's two ways to look at this, and I'm gonna give you sort of the negative or positive, right? And positive. Negative is that the people who are in that power are gonna dig in even deeper and become even more stubborn about it, and like, we're not gonna listen. So you might have great ideas, but our fingers are in our ears right now, and I don't love that. But what it also might do is to say, these folks who have kept the world's, the governments, the systems the way they are, we could see a rise up of those folks saying, we have to help the next generation create the leaders. So I am going to break rank, if you want to say, and I'm going to help the younger generation. So the good news is, if we handle this right, the older generations will reach out their hand and pull the younger generation in to say, this is the way we did it. Now go break it and do something different. And
Inviting the younger generation sounds terrific.
right. So not this battle of, this ego battle of, well, but this is the way we've always done it, and this is the way it works for me, and this is, everybody gets their benefits. I understand that. We got to worry about those things, but also, we have future generations. You have grandchildren. I have a young niece, and folks out there, know younger generations. We gotta take and lead by example. But to throw the whole foundation out the window doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily help us. We take the
Oh no.
structures that worked and worked well, and then we improve in the places we didn't. So that Aries energy, that's the warrior, that's the leader, and the sense of um like a warrior, someone who just starts moving fast. These are the leaders of your armies. These are the leaders of, but
Yeah.
army, like, if folks don't like the word, army, these are your collective leaders. Whereas
The
Leo
change
really just,
makers. Yeah,
they're the
let's call
change
it the change
makers. Yeah.
makers. Yeah.
Leos are already in that place all the time. They're just, I'm just a leader all the time. I'm a leader of my world. Aries are like, well, yeah, I want to go out and make a leader of the worlds, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So if you have those folks that already have that leadership position, they can either feel like it's a threat to their ego, or they can invite someone in to say, we can make this structure even better. And one of the people who come to my mind, whether you like him or not, I personally love Bernie Sanders, but Bernie is that kind of change maker. He's
Right.
in this position of power. He's been in for many, many years, and he collaborates with the younger generations and across the aisle many times to say,
Yeah.
let's fix the foundation. So we're looking for people like that to step up. So those of you out there who are watching these, this is the time, because the younger
More
generation really
time.
does need,
Yeah.
yeah, that guidance, and that, you can do this and we can do it together. And listen, the younger generation's got a different view. They can even do it better than us. And so, we got to put our egos aside a bit. So you have this,
Yeah.
like, this, all this change happening. And what we have to watch out for is those egos that are going to look at it like it's a threat to me, instead of it's a collaborate. I can collaborate.
Yeah. So this Saturn in retrograde, you said it was July 13th yesterday to November, something like that.
So, well, let me double check on the dates here. Give me a
Oh,
second, guys, because I want to. So, well, Mercury retrograde is the July 11th to August. I'm sorry, July 18th to August 11th.
yeah.
Saturn is going to go retrograde, and I'll check out those dates for you in a second. But yeah, it's going to back up into, so it's in Aries right now, Saturn in Aries, to September 1st, and then when it goes in retrograde, it backs up into Pisces for a short time, and then it comes back
Okay.
into Aries.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to see it hanging around for the next 2.5 years or so.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so right, Saturn's a slower moving planet. It does one rotation every 28 to 30 years. What I mean by rotation, it goes back to the sign you were born in every 30 years, right? So it's going to be hovering over this place where it's a bit of like the spiritual side and what we need to do to collect to the universe, and then also taking that and moving it into what we want to bring into the real. The Saturn is the real, the practical, the here and the now. You know what I mean? Saturn's very is not as flexible, but with it being in Aries, there's this charge to
Mhm.
be
Mhm.
flexible and to be able to be pass the torch. This is a lot of times of passing the torch. And so we'll hear these stories about people who have passed the torch on to the younger generations,
Yeah.
not letting the not stopping progress. Let me say they're helping progress. They're making sure that we have progress. Um, Things can't stay the same. I think we all know that. And I think also as a collective, the only way that we're all going to rise is if we all help each other rise. It's not our systems that are doing it anymore, even though I think they can. Uranus is saying, but we need the collective to do it. Saturn's saying we need the people who built the foundation. See, so it's a really important time for this because my heart hopes, and again, I think there's enough people out there that are invested in making this world a better place. While it doesn't seem like that right now, and I know I keep kind of touching back to how everybody's feeling, but that, life be life. And as I said, um, this can be a move forward where we all help each other and we understand community so much better than we have. So, nothing's a stupid idea right now, guys. Nothing's a stupid idea. So if you
Yeah.
have an idea and you float it by somebody and you collaborate with someone, we can make all kinds of things happen in really good ways for us. So don't get don't lose hope. Don't lose hope.
So
we've
yeah,
got
stick with it.
we've got a lot of change coming, and Uranus, same thing, not a fast moving planet. So like I mentioned, Saturn 2.5 years or so. Uranus is 7 years in Gemini, so there's a lot of chances for innovation and change and community building. It's a scary time, but it can also be an exciting time, because if you have the hope that this scary time moves into that, we're going to be good.
I like that.
Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox. Okay.
I love it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that. So we have that going on. The other thing that's happening, Neptune, there's a bunch of things happening, but Neptune, which is the planet of our I call it the artist or the addict, and I know addict isn't a great word, but the like
Yeah.
what we get obsessed with, or what we use to soothe ourselves, or how we express ourselves through the things that we can't necessarily touch. So like singing and art and drawing. Nancy, you do the beautiful spirit art that you do. That's all part of it. Because that's a way to soothe yourself through art and help soothe others through art. It's that kind of stuff. So with it going retrograde, um, it means that we have to go back inside and take a look at how we're handling the stresses in our lives. And that started on March 30th. It's going to go back into Pisces, where it's home. So what that means is like, either you may notice that there's something that you're doing that you're like, I really can't do this anymore. Like, this is not a good way for me to escape. And that could be anything. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be substances. It can be anything, shopping or food, or anything that you can get unhealthy with. Anything can
Right.
land under that. Right. But also it's tapping into the creativity and the spiritual and the artistic. It is, how do we dissolve the barriers out of really being our soul selves? Right. So that's why, again, doing the classes that you're going to do in the fall, Nance, and things like that, I think are really going to be important, because people can really touch the soul and bring their dreams into fruition, because we also have that capsule of Uranus and Saturn open for us. So it's a safe place for us to explore the spiritual and the artistic and the creative, because we have those foundations that are still around us being very strong, a strong influence. And that's Uranus and Saturn, if I didn't say that. So does it make sense? It's like we
Yeah.
have a chance now to kind of look back into what is going to make us whole in our whole in our soul. That's the stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might be the time to, like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like, we don't like shadow work. None of us like shadow work. It's not,
No.
it's not the most pleasant thing, but if you do that, especially during this safer time, um, you're going to be able to really dig out some stuff that maybe has been bothering you for years, or that you've like wanted to change about yourself. This is a really good time for that.
Mhm.
So because it's in Pisces, it's going to retrograde in Pisces and it come out and be back in Aries again.
Yeah.
So we've got
Yeah.
that leadership energy.
Yeah.
So if you do it right and you go back in and you say, what is working for me spiritually, what is not, or creatively, whatever, and you bring that forward again, you're a change maker. So I know it's a lot of like, you got to work on yourselves, guys, but we all have to work on ourselves right now. And I don't know, Nancy, if you don't mind me asking you, like, because I know you do a lot of work with the Akashic records,
Right,
but
right, right.
with all this stuff going on astrologically, have you taken a look at the Akashic records, like a kind of collectively to see what we're looking at for the second half of the year?
I have to go back and yes, I have, and
Yeah.
I saw there's I could kind of pull back. I should have had the notes right in front of me. This is I feel like this has been an insane June. It's an insane July, but I
Mhm.
feel that I keep going into the earth changes or weather patterns, and I saw a lot of water, and
Yeah.
so I don't know if that was just Texas and done with that, but I don't think so. I do feel that we're just not getting a break. No, but what I mean is we have plenty of time to do what we need to do, but if we continue to not do what we're not doing, um, it's going to bite us harder and harder and harder. So we're in,
Yeah.
and it's not bad news. It's kind of like, you're eating too much chocolate and too much carbs, and if you keep doing it through November, it's going to get harder, even though you say you're going to go on a diet really soon. That kind of thing. Um,
Right.
it,
Right.
it's, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's the stakes are higher in the fall. But I also got
Mm-hmm.
this feeling that the stakes are higher, but then the innovation that I was mentioning and the people are going to come up with some amazing ideas because um, they can't stand it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
There's got to be a better way. Like my dad was a carpenter and he was building this house and it was a wreck. And he said, there's got to be a better way. So he went to architecture school. And I think that that's what this end of this year is about.
Yes, yes, yes. I think right. It's the innovation like within ourselves. That's an
Yeah.
amazing example about your dad because your dad said, "All right, there's got to be. I need to get some more knowledge to understand how
Right.
to do this
Right.
better." So
Yeah.
that's the stuff that we really got to focus on because um, as a- as quickly as things can change for the scarier, things can quickly
Mhm.
change for the better. I think
Right.
there's that polarity, right? So
Yeah.
if we keep our eyes on the prize of okay, that's what that is and I can see that and I don't feel good about what's happening over there, I can quickly change over here too.
Right.
So
Right.
I can
Yeah.
tip the scale. So I think power right now is really important because we have that Pluto in Aquarius that's still happening. That's going to be happening for, another I think it was 15 years. 18 years. So we have the power. We got to just dig in for it. It's almost like not that um our people that we're learning from don't have the knowledge, but if we don't integrate it, it's more than just learning and checking a box now, guys. It's like how do we integrate this information that we're bringing in
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
can be the best that we can be. It's really a time of I think we're all getting activated.
We,
Um
we are.
yeah.
Nobody's getting out of here without getting activated. Um,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
we signed. My sister was going on and on this morning, and I think your husband was complaining to her about how hard this is, and she said, "You told me years ago that you came and you signed up for this, so I know it's hard." She
Yeah.
said, "You told me things I didn't want to hear, but here they are, and you signed up for this. Can you get on back on track, get back in the program?" And I was like, "Well, you're speaking to me.
Ooh,
You're right. Yeah."
yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. I think we're hearing messages all around us about what we need to do. And it's not to like say that we're not good people, guys. It's more to say like there's
Yeah,
so much more potential for our soul and
absolutely.
ourselves that I think we get
Yeah,
scared. And then, like I said, the world
yeah,
is a little wackadoodle right now. So,
yeah.
but the more that we live we live authentically. I know people don't like that, but the more we really say to ourselves, like, I am living that soul experience. I don't have
Right.
that
Yeah,
separation anymore of how I have to be
yeah.
in the world. I am being my soul. I am living my
Exactly.
soul.
And also, if you look back historically, if you're kind of playing with the 1400s and the medieval ages, and then you go
Mm,
back into just the turn of the century, not this century, but from 1800s to 1900s, this is the first time that so many people on this planet have so much freedom. And they can use
yeah.
their own minds. They can use what do I want to create? They can co-create, or if you don't
Right.
like the word co-create, they're like, who am I? What am I doing? What do I want to do? There's more
Right.
people saying that than ever before. And
Hmm.
let's get that into a good track. Let's get that into a positive track, not a
Right.
controlled track.
Mm-mm.
We need the woman's voice. We need everybody's voice,
Right.
to say, hey, let's look at all this cool stuff we can do, and we're just belly aching over here. And
Right. Right. Yeah, it's the bigger picture. It's not the now. It's not just the now. I mean, I understand we have to
yeah,
live in the now, but it's also
now
what
is
is
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
we're all kind of living now and future. It's all kind of coming together. We're all
yeah.
working through our lives in this life. So our past lives, our future lives, all that. But the point is that I think the soul work that we all can do right now, with all the freedom we have, like with all the access to education and the collective things that we can do with each other, it's just such a powerful time.
It
And
is.
we and guys, if you're here right now, if you're in a body, if you're on this earth, there is more for all of us to do. And even if it's, we can't do much, we can just be us.
Yeah,
That's really the
exactly.
most important thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
We're here to
thinking about,
inspire.
yeah, the
Yeah.
illusion of I feel like it's like a cat and mouse game with illusion. We're all
Mhm.
afraid that we're going to get put back into that box that nobody ever wants to go into. We don't want to go into. And yet we all know that the box is there, and we all know, well, I don't say all, but many of us know the box is there. Many of
Mhm.
us, millions of us know we don't want to go back into the box, and we're all fussing about the box. What else can we
Mhm.
do? What else can we talk about? What else can we create? It's
Right.
do you know?
Yeah.
Did you ever? I can't remember. There's always these cartoon movies where the bully is blah 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 until finally just somebody just gets up and go kaplam, and
Yep.
and that takes care of the
Yeah.
bully, and he's like, oh. But
Oh. Mhm.
I think that
Mhm.
we're being asked to kick butt with illusion.
Right. Well, yeah, and nothing, I don't think we're taking the word of people anymore. I
Mm-mm.
don't think that's really, and I don't mean to say that, but I
Yeah,
mean that in a way when
yeah,
someone's trying to manipulate us or someone's trying
yeah,
to, this is the way, they're trying to move the masses. I think the masses are saying, wait a minute, that's not what this is. And I think we're all feeling when something isn't necessarily good, that we're all getting activated more. We're not letting things just brush by anymore. That's not how we all want to live. And I think we want to be better people. I know that sounds weird right
yeah,
now, guys, because of
yeah,
everything going on, but when you feel outraged or you feel uncomfortable, it's because we know that it isn't right and we want something better
yeah.
for each other.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, there's not that many people saying, and I want everybody to suffer. There are a few,
There are a
I'll give you
few.
that, but for the most
Mhm.
part, and
Yeah.
and
Well,
I guess this is a pep
we,
talk for the world to say, hey, come on,
yeah.
guys, chin up.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's because I mean, I know with the work we do, Nance, we talk to a lot of people who are going through it, right? I mean, we're on the front lines of that with a lot of people. And part of our job is to, say the spirit world, like, hey, it's gonna get better, right? And they tell us and we can share it with other people. And
Yeah,
these messages that you don't necessarily have to be, the most spiritual person in the world. It's just seeing another human being and connecting with them, and that you're I back up to Uranus and Gemini. It's about groups and collectives, and you connect with them and say, wow, like I'm not going through it alone, or I've been through it and I can help you figure it out. Like that, we've need that so much more than we've ever needed it. So that's our task, guys. That's,
that's
like I
right.
said, it doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. And then the other thing I'll just mention is we have Jupiter in Cancer that started on June 9th. So we're going to be feeling a shift around, how do we expand our home? How do we expand um our feeling settled? How do we do that where we're more solid in our space in our home? So you might be seeing also things that are happening around people being able to get more housing, fingers crossed, or that housing is being built
Yeah,
that's more affordable. We might be
right.
seeing, so Jupiter's trying to bring luck to those things that are Cancerian, which is your home, your emotions, all that. We may be seeing some innovations or expansions around mental health work so that more people can get into
Mhm.
mental health if they need it, or they can learn more about it. There's this expansion of these things to heal and to connect with the emotion, and also just the home, whether it's your physical home or your inner home. And it stays in that for a year. So it's sort of setting the space for us to really feel like we have what we want, but in the space, like I said, in the home space, in our own family space, in our, so we're going to have a lot of focus on, like I said, we have the global, we have our collective, and then we have our family,
Right.
where the people that we impact and we touch every day, we may be having people who are like connecting with their family again after they haven't connected with them in a long
That'd
time.
be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, things like that, where sort of some of that karma gets sorted out, and that's going to be more of the focus. But also, like I said, ways to be, for people to be housed and for people to be feel safe and to have their basic needs met. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Where I know, so again, guys, you got to be patient, because I know that we've had this big bill that has happened where a lot of things are getting cut. I understand that, but there is also going to be that polarity of people who are creating new and different ways for people to have their needs met and their emotions met.
Right. 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 Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you
God.
know,
I keep thinking
and
of
it,
yeah.
go ahead. No, what were you
No, the
gonna
first
say?
I keep thinking of this first chakra and all the things that have been said. Well, by Bernie Sanders, you brought him
Yes.
up, and other people.
Yeah.
It's like, and then all of the cuts at SNAP and all that. And it's like it's really becoming more and more not safe to be poor. And that we've got the
Right.
working poor, where
Yeah.
things are expensive. And that whole rat's
Hmm.
nest, I think, will be
Right.
expanded to be seen so that we can actually
Yes.
do something about it. Like, why do we have so many people working two jobs and they still can't pay the rent? What's going on with this?
Right. Right. It's nuts. It's just not, it's not the way the world should
Yeah,
be. It absolutely. So I think that's why Jupiter's coming in to give it some blessings, to say, how can we make it so that more people are safe? I mean, really, the bottom line is they're safe,
yeah,
because how can you
yeah,
focus on anything else is if you don't feel safe in your home or your space or
right.
whatever. So that's Jupiter saying, yeah, I think we got to look at that a little more positively and a little bit
Yeah,
more on the higher level, because Jupiter also is the ruler of more of the um higher level education and philosophy and the religion and spirituality, like those places. Jupiter's going to want to bring some of that into the Cancerian world and say,
lovely.
okay, so yeah, so how do we make it so, it's just bottom line. I just heard the spirit say to me, it's like, how do we look at this with the heart? Because for the longest time, we have not been looking at this situation with housing and homes and rents and things like that with the heart. But Jupiter's coming in to say, there's enough for everybody. So let's make this happen, you know?
Oh, I love
But
that.
again, I know it's scary right now, because it's,
Yeah,
we hear about
yeah,
rents going
yeah,
up and housing being so difficult. But I think Jupiter's coming in to say, we need to expand it for the better
yeah,
and take care of people
exactly,
for the better.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
have hope,
yeah.
guys. Have hope. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not over yet.
So
Just there's no, yeah. The
yeah.
last word, what is it that it's not over till the fat lady sings? But I have to say, the last word hasn't been spoken yet. It's these are things all in movement, and and
Yes.
um, and I
Yeah.
can't say when the last word's going to be spoken. But it's this is the change. This is the upheaval time, and
Yeah.
the upheaval time. I think about tilling a garden. You know,
Mhm.
when you just go in and all these plants that give you all those wonderful foods, you got to go
Yeah.
in and turn the earth. I don't know why I'm saying it
Yeah.
like this, but
But
and it's you
it,
see, oh my God, I wish it would that plant would come back and give me more tomatoes, but it
right.
needs to be turned. And
Right. Right. It needs to, you know, receive new soil and new nutrients so it can grow again.
yeah,
And we use the old to do that, but it has to turn new. I
yeah,
mean,
it has to
I
turn.
agree. It
Yeah.
has to turn new. So,
And I hate
and
saying
the,
this because I don't like what's going on right now.
no,
It's not like I'm agreeing to what's going on right now. I'm just
no,
between you and I, we're trying to see what's the purpose of this. If you step back and like, there's a bigger purpose, what would that be? And
right.
well, it would be, you know,
Well, we have to do something. I think it's
yeah,
more of like we have to step up and do something. And I think we don't have to do everything, but we have to find something that's important to us to take a stand on or take a stand for or speak out or even to just support someone that's going through it. I think the world is asking us to be to be active, not to
Yeah.
just sit and watch TV and say, oh, that's unfortunate. It's like, no, no, it's what are you doing? Like, what are you doing to, are
Yeah.
you bringing your story forward and things like that? And one of the things that occurred to me as we've been talking tonight, so again, for whatever reason, but the greats out there, our great leaders had moments of doubt. They had really difficult times.
Yeah.
There's been people who have told them they can't do it. We're going to run into the same thing. The way that we become the great is by doing the things that we're
Yeah.
scared of, and
Yeah.
and doing the things that we believe in.
Well,
So
yeah, but people didn't think they were great, or nobody said that was a hero. And while it was going on, they were
right,
aggravated, they were frustrated, and they were like, "Are you that guy's crazy?" I don't think
right,
anybody liked Winston Churchill, but we had
right.
we made some very,
It's
but we have some leaders, and we're having a lot of really powerful leaders stepping forward, young and old,
mhm,
that whose voices are amazing, and if I hope they don't give up because it's an
right,
uphill battle, but
right.
some of those voices are coming from they had a hard life.
Yeah.
They
Oh
knew
yeah.
they knew what it was like to say no, 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 you can't, and they're like, yeah, I can. Shut up.
Right.
And
Right. It's the overcome, part of this is the overcoming. And what is it? Not the it's not the it's not the destination, it's the journey. It's like, yes, we want to get to this point, but what you learn through that journey is what's really gonna make the magic happen in this world. And I know people are understanding what we're talking about, Nance. I think it resonates with them. It's just a reminder that it's not going to get us anywhere unless we all take some kind of
yeah,
action.
yeah,
But it does not have to be big. Like, I know I've had a bad day and someone smiles at me and I'm like, oh, that was such, or I had a nice
yeah,
interaction with someone.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be
yeah.
big.
No,
So,
yeah, little things that will make
little things.
little things. I got this image flash in front of my head. The revolution. We talk about revolution. We talk about new thinking and change. And I'm thinking about those, the farmers that went to the revolutionary. Some didn't have. Some had guns. Some did not. Some had just pitchforks.
Yeah.
And some had,
Yeah.
an axe. Something. You took what you had that you knew
Mhm.
how to use real well, and you went for it.
Right.
Um,
Well, that's it. That's it. And you'll find the folks that are going to support you in that. You
yeah,
you always find them, like when you tell kind of like the universe, hey, I want to find my people, they start to show up. They do. They start to show up. And
exactly.
um, like I said, it's we got to know we're not alone. And I think right now a lot of people are feeling very alone and isolated, but you are not. We're not alone, guys.
Mhm.
It's we're all going through something, and just because maybe someone's hurt your heart in the past or rejected you, or you feel like they rejected you, it doesn't mean that's the way it's always going to be.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we're getting kind of leaned into to sort of back up if someone hurts our feelings, and I understand that, but maybe the next person won't, or maybe the next person will be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's risk with our hearts right now, guys. It really is. It's risks
Yeah.
with our hearts. And um so no one is exempt from that. Everybody has something
But
to give.
but it's
Everybody
so worth
does.
it. It's so worth
Yeah.
it when we realize
Yeah.
you're not alone and you actually allow the right people to come into your life. Sometimes it's a revolving door. Oh, you're that,
Yeah.
but when the right person comes through and you have your group, when you find your group, you
Yeah.
can it's a lot of power there. And there's a lot of power
Yeah.
just within yourself. Finding your power within yourself is part of what's
Mhm.
going to match you up to your group, call your group to you.
Right.
But
Right.
I know you and I
Yeah.
have we both experienced being alone for a long time, being like,
Hmm.
I want to do this and I want to be part of this group or this club, and I'm working on my
Hmm.
spirituality here, and then we find out. I always found out
Eh,
I'm the nerd of the nerds. They didn't. Nobody.
right.
It's like they're like even freaked out about what, and I'm like, oh my god. So but you got to stick with what's in your heart instead of yes, I do in my classes, and maybe
Mhm.
this fits in somewhere to the planets, but in writing
Yeah.
my classes for years and years and years, I've been teaching, and I'll put a class out there, and somebody said, "Well, I'd rather you teach this,"
Right.
and I would switch, and I would teach that, and then three people would show up, and then I would try to go teach the thing that was in my heart until I
Right.
started to teach independently, and then a good friend said, why don't you teach what's in your heart and what you know and see what happens? And
Right.
but it was a long process. Not it wasn't a 3 month process. It was many years.
No.
I've been at
Right.
this for decades, and so I just want to say that honestly,
Yeah.
that
It
some things are worth it. So just hang in there.
Yeah. It's the journey, right? I mean, you're always you're going to reach a destination and go, all right, what's next? And you're going to go to the next thing, right?
Yeah,
And so that's what's really exciting about it, because there's never really a well, the final stop is when you leave this planet, but that's it. There doesn't have to be a final stop. So, when you teach, when you show what's in your heart, when you teach what's in your heart, when you
yeah,
express
yeah,
what's in your heart, how do you beat that? I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's you living your soul. I mean,
You
really,
get,
and
yeah.
that's
And you are
that's what
wherever
we're
you
meant.
are, and it is,
Mhm.
you start with what you
Yeah.
got and you
Hmm.
keep going and you never know when that one thing is going to click into this other thing and whoa, transformation happens. But you don't know till
Right.
it's like a science project.
Right.
I've
Right.
got a
And when you're
hypothesis, but I'm not sure where it's going to take me.
right, you have to do the experiment. It's a hypothesis, then you have to gather data, you have to do the experiment. So you have to put yourself out there, or you have to dig into whatever is really sitting in your
Yeah,
gut that you don't want to
yeah,
touch, or whatever
yeah,
it is. We all
yeah,
have different things we have to
yeah,
work through,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we're all working through something.
Oh, we are.
So we have that in common. We all got something we're working through.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
mhm.
I think we just described Jupiter and Pluto. I mean Jupiter
Right.
and Cancer.
Then
I think we
Cancer.
just said,
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah.
comfortable doing this, but no, you're not going to be comfortable doing this, but it's going to be great. It's going to be fun, and you'll have a lot of good
Right.
luck doing it. It'll be best of
Right.
fun. I would see Jupiter as
It's
a
true.
planet of grace. You know, you don't want to
Yes.
expand, but you do, and it works. Holy
Hmm.
cow! But
Yeah, yeah. The luck carries you. It's like the universe carries you. So once you start doing the things that you really love, or you feel like just in your gut, like I got to go in this direction. Sure, it's not going to be easy. No one said that, but is the universe going to sweep you up? Absolutely. Once you really, that's the purpose now, guys, is for us to live who we are. And I hate to say it, some people it's going to be a little ugly who they are. Like, so we're going to see that truthfully, but because, y'all have good hearts. I know if you're watching, you have a great heart. Then that's what really is what needs to shine out there. So I
yeah,
know doing the work is like yucky, but nothing comes from easy,
yeah, no,
you know? No, easy's temporary. When you are challenged, or you are asked to be your greatest, that's where the magic is. So,
yeah.
and I'm all about the magic, so
I
I
like
get
you
it.
are, you are. You're very good at creating magic in all kinds of
That's right.
places. Yeah, yeah, all
Hey,
places. It's
so
great.
that's my love. You know what I mean? That's my love. So that's what I do. And whatever people do, like I said, I think if your heart's really in it, then it's the most wonderful thing we can have on the planet right now. It's not to have that guard up, or not to fall into, you know, the places that don't make us feel so good. I think if we're in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
space that we're feeling
yeah,
really good and we're shining, I mean, nothing touches you then. Nothing touches you. So, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, that was awesome. Anything else that we
yeah.
can look at that's going to help us out, or you kind of,
Well, I think the last thing I'll mention is we are going to hit an eclipse. There we go. I was getting tongue tied. And so that is on September 7th. We have a lunar eclipse in I don't think this is right, but we have a lunar eclipse and then a solar eclipse. And then let me on September 21st. I feel like what I'm reading, I'm like, I don't think those signs are right, but I just want to double check them. Anyway, while I'm doing that, the eclipses, why it's important to know that is because there's big endings and big beginnings. So, we have the polarity of the new moon, which is a new beginning, and we have the full moon, which can be big endings. So the thought I would have for you guys is in September, that month, we have the fall coming, we have the fall equinox, we have uh just moving into the time where people are going back to school, the leaves are falling off the trees, all of that stuff. With the eclipses, you might see big changes. And so I don't want anybody to be nervous about that, because um
right?
those big changes are going to ask us to find our way into how can I say this? Who we are and what our relationships are. So
Oh,
it's the time of year where we're really going to have to focus on who we are in the world as individuals. And then, yeah, no, it's right. So the lunar eclipse is in Pisces on September 7th, and the solar eclipse is September 21st in Virgo. So it's going to be like, who do we present ourselves to the world in our jobs, but also in our spiritual lives? Because Virgo is health and jobs, Pisces is health, but in a different way. It's more of the institution, and it's also our karma. So, but those things hit because they're in the fall time frame. It's going to hit around our relationships. So, am I in healthy relationships? Am I in relationships that are feeding my souls, in my soul? Am I escaping in relationships right now, or escaping from things in my health? So it's going to be really important to, even though things are going to be a little more intense, it's really kind of plucking out those things that aren't good for you, because it is going to work on your health, your physical health, and your spirituality, and what your role is in the world through how you connect through jobs.
Okay.
So that's a big one. Like, that's a big one because of those big beginnings and big endings. So guys, I know, again, it's like, oh, something else, but that, I think, what it'll do for us, it'll put us on a really good path. So let me say it this way: if you're not sure what you want to do right now, I think that solar and lunar eclipse are going to get you right, turn you right on the right road. There's no more
Okay.
detours. Yeah.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. September.
So
The sign is going to be
September.
there. Go that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Trust your intuition, guys. This is a really good time to be trusting that intuition. Universe wants to support you on your climb.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Yeah.
really love the messages coming forward and using the planets as a way to teach us or help us or inspire us or move us
Hmm.
instead of going, oh my God. Um,
Right.
and I've
Yeah.
been listening to a ton of astrology things on YouTube, and some of them portend some really scary things. And it does don't I don't have tools after I listen to it of what to
Right.
do. And this is really important. That's why I love having you on, because the tools are
Well,
right
thank
there
you.
when we talk. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. And I always look at astrology and just spirituality as we have to integrate it into our lives because we're still in
Yeah,
this body.
yeah,
So, yeah, those, I rather talk to you all about what's going on in the world and how you can move it through yourself to other people than like, oh, the planets are going to be, this is going to blow up. Well, maybe it's time for a big change. I rather say that instead of like,
yeah,
oh, all
yeah,
this, chaos.
yeah,
Well, but
yeah,
chaos brings the beauty again.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And chaos makes us learn how to work together, as you know.
right.
This is we've talked about a lot about this being something in Aquarius. I can't remember, but it's about the group. It's about the
Yeah.
what's best for the whole group,
Yeah.
and, uh,
Yeah.
and
The
it's about
Pluto
teamwork.
supporting that,
Yeah,
because Pluto is in Aquarius. So Pluto wants to dig down and bring everything up. Uranus and Gemini. Uranus is rules Aquarius. So that's also, again, the group collective, how we're meeting up with everybody
yeah,
and helping them find their space. So we're creating a lot of safe spaces for people. And
yeah.
this podcast is definitely one of them. So
Oh, thank you. You're sweet. Yeah,
it's true.
true.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why that smile to somebody else, or that reach out, or that just like, it's all going to be okay, is so
Yeah.
important to each
Hmm.
other. You walk around with your blinders, you walk around thinking, I'm just got to get through this, whatever. But if you find a
Right.
hit where you could give that encouragement, even if it's just a smile or just it's like, hey, you got this.
You got this.
We're gonna
Yeah.
needs it's so important right now, so important. So I'm really
Hmm.
thrilled to have you here again, and we'll get you
Thanks.
back again in
I love it.
the next big whatever is going to happen. But it's so for now, I just want to have everyone go ahead and look at all the changes in your life, and use the planets as a way to pull out tools and pull out thoughts and innovations, and go forward. Is it people I want to say also, end of the show, I should have said this earlier, marydalba.com.
It's okay.
She's terrific healer, terrific hypnotist, reader, as well as an astrologer. And everyone who's had an astrology reading from you, Mary, goes, I didn't know that. That's really cool. So they're amazed. So
Thank you.
please, I always only bring people on this show that are available to other people, and Mary's one of them. And
Thank
so for
you.
now, guys, go in peace, go in grace, stay safe, and stay positive in a constructive way. And till next time, thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Mary, and thank you everyone for
Yes.
joining us.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you for joining the Angelscapes podcast, We hope you've gained new insights and inspiration for your journey to uncover and access your soul's power. For more information and a deeper dive into finding clarity in your life, go to angelscapes.com. Remember to subscribe so you can be part of the discussion. It may just change your life. See you next time.